too, baby. Okay, well, I'm here to get on. So I'm going to see you up there in just a minute, okay? All right, love you too. Give me a kiss. Okay, see you in a minute. Oh, I don't have on no lipstick, and I feel away. I feel like I need to go get something. Mikhail, bring me my purse, please. It's in there, in the bedroom. Okay. We're pulling from this winter deck again today, y'all, because it's cold outside. It's cold outside. The weather here is frightening. It is not so delighting because it's cold outside. Whew. Yeah. Everybody who is in the Midwest, and y'all out there getting all that snow, they talking about we gonna get some here tonight. I don't want it. I do not want it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me see, I don't even want to burn this today. I'm gonna burn these regular. Did you see it, baby? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Now look at this little thing. It's not a lighter. It's like, it's electric.
Leave it over there.
Yeah, you can put it right there, baby. Thank you. And it lights my incense. Isn't that cool? Thank you, son. I appreciate you. So y'all know I do not pre-shuffle. Put that over there so it don't choke me out. But I'm about to go and get this lip gloss. I can't be running around here looking like I ain't got no moon cycle magic. Okay? See, all I need is just a little. It's a little something, something. But how y'all doing today? Y'all doing good? Y'all see I'm feeling real catty. I got my catty nails on with my catty shirt. Okay, and y'all, let me show y'all these cute little boots. Y'all can't see them, but they come up, girl. I like them because they just, you know, they cute. I got a black little sweater hoodie I was gonna put on, but I said, you know what? I feel colorful. It's going to be a full moon. It's winter time. It's going to be out. And like most of the time, you know, people, we want to wear black and dark colors and all that stuff because it's fall and it's looking all. I said, I need color in my life right now. I need to go out with a bang, 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 okay? 2025 has really made me come alive. And in that, I made a post today that said, this year God made me strong, next year God's gonna make me happy. So I'm looking forward to all the happiness that is gonna come from all the work, the deep inner work that came up this year. And oh my God, it was just a lot, y'all, a whole lot, you know. And I know for sure that there are things that Spirit wants me to be able to experience in the new year, and some of that I want to share with y'all too on today. So let's get these period power cards together and let's see who comes out. Okay. This is funny. I'm really laughing about that because I just had this whole spiritual download about this earlier today, and I'm excited about this card that just came out. Now we're gonna get an angel wisdom card and see what the angels have to say about this. Okay. And I really enjoy, like y'all know that, I really enjoy doing these weekly sessions with y'all because I feel like the more and more I am in this space with you all, the more and more I'm able to really tap into the fullness of myself and what it is that I hope to bring to the community, especially in the magic of menstrual health. And when I say magic, you know, I had a young lady one time say, "Oh, we don't talk about magic. I thought you was a Christian." Like, I believe in magic. Like, I believe like God is magical, like not in the fairy tale sense, but you know, I didn't have some experiences where God then did some things and came through with that magic like 911, okay? So let's see how these two cards match up today because we get ready to get it figured out. And I'm super excited, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my thumbnail real quick so that I can have that, and we're gonna get started. So, cards for the day. Okay, thank y'all for being patient. But anyway, the cards today is 911 and arousal. I feel like my my light is doing something different. Maybe I need to bring it down a little bit. Okay, I feel like that's a little bit better. But so we got arousal and 911, y'all. So let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about what this possibly can mean for us today. Hey, Sienna, so glad to see you here. Yes, we ready for year one because you know the number 9 is completion. Like once you gave birth, what else is it to do? Which you just did. Congratulations to you, boo-boo. And I'm super excited about all of this that's ready to go down. Okay. Let's see who else we got on here. Hey, Lakeisha. So we get ready to get to it, y'all. We get ready to get to it. And I'm super excited about it. Because this is a new year. It's time for us to really get into it. So, okay. Arousal. Can we talk about this real quick? Because I got some stuff for y'all today. I didn't, like, I don't want to say I'm not prepared because I am, but there's so much that I want to share in this little bitty segment, but we gotta get to it. So, aroused. As you head towards your period and during it, increased blood flow can make your genitals tingle in the same way they can around ovulation. And so, I want to bring this back up, Lakeisha. Do you remember that time we were at that one bar and we were talking about this real briefly about like how your body sometimes feels like you want to when you are on your cycle? And so this just came up and I thought it was the appropriate time to talk about it because the card said it was, okay? So the superpower in this, orgasms relieve tension of all kinds, aid sleep, and boost feel-good brain chemicals such as serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins, all which help to improve mood and decrease pain during your period. The danger: period sex generates some very interesting responses from people of all genders. If the idea of seeing blood or staying in your bed linen concerns you, you can put a towel underneath your pelvis or try a menstrual cup that's designed to be worn during sex. Now, that's something interesting. I think I might have to go ahead and invest in some of those for those of you who want to be intimate during your cycle. And remember, sex doesn't have to involve a penis or penetration, okay? This is something interesting. I had a friend, and she used to tell me about how she would be intimate during that time, but she would use these little cloth discs to hold her blood back so that her and her man could do whatever they was doing. But this is an interesting thing. So self-care. Although some people like intimacy with another during their period, I commonly find that it's a time when clients prefer to masturbate and to keep pleasure and orgasms for themselves. Okay, now y'all do what y'all want to do, but I have turned a new leaf around about masturbation, because to me it's a whole different spiritual thing than what I used to think. But I had a message come to me about that not too long ago, is that when we are in that space of intimacy with ourselves, we are opening up certain gates. And when we open up those certain gates just to interact with ourselves, then there can be portals, because that's, sex is an intimate portal that we're opening when we're with one another. But when we're with someone else, that portal, or when we're not with someone else, that portal just stays open, and it's easy for entities and energies to come in that we might not have asked for. Okay, so I'm gonna just put that out there. And so 911, we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to figure out how these two kind of correlate. Okay, 911 is courage. A doorway has opened for you, and while apprehension may be felt, allow courage to flow in as you put your best foot forward. You are being encouraged to let curiosity lead you and know that the divine has your back. The affirmation, I allow courage to prevail as curiosity leads me through new doors. Okay, y'all know this is how it happens. So this to me is tying into, like, I had this conversation this morning. Arousal, is also about curiosity. And so when we have these different moments of curiosity, it's not necessarily sexual. A lot of times it's just the energy that is needed for us to be able to navigate and do the things that we really need to do. And it's not always sexual. And so that intimacy that you feel that is driving you to be more courageous. It's driving you, it's like a 911, right? It's saying, hey, get up, because I need your energy right now to produce something else. Because creative energy and aroused energy is reproductive no matter what. It's not just about having a child or producing a child. It's about producing thoughts. It's about producing momentum. It's about producing curiosity, right? To find new ways to do things. And so I'm excited that this card came out today, because I want everybody to look at how much courage did you take in 2025 to still be here today, right? To still be in your right mind. How much courage did it take? What aroused you this year? What made you stand up? What erected you to say, I need to be here. I need to be doing this work. I need to be coming to myself. I need to be authentic. And we find that a lot of times when we're able to tap into our cycles. So I'm excited that came up today. And y'all know I got my notes pulled up. And I'm super excited about this, because I feel like we are in a place, in a space and time where we have to learn how to really close out things, right? And because we're at the closing of this year, we're at the last full moon that's going to be on the 4th, and we need to be able to look at this space and place and time to really be in the fullness of who we are, so we could take that energy into 2026, okay? Which is the one, right? Which is the one, okay? So let's do it. New money, new mission, new year, okay? So I'm so happy that you all are here today on this Moon Cycle Monday. And that means that we are coming together today to step into our sacred power and to really move in this rhythm together as we close out this new year. And so today we're going to be talking about that. What does it mean to close out 2025 in this group? In the last full moon of the year, which is on December 4th. And how are we setting ourselves up to walk into 2026 with clarity, with cash flow, and calling, which is a part of what this group is doing with the Pretty Period Ambassador Program that I'm so excited to talk to you all about today. And we've got 4 more Moon Cycle Mondays together, y'all. I wish I had some of that and all that stuff in the background. I don't have any of that on the live, but before we cross into this brand new year, I just want that to be clear that we got four. So this is your reminder, not that this is just the end of the calendar year, but this is the end of an old cycle, and we're almost complete with this cycle, y'all. So imagine that. Imagine that we have been together for almost 1 year, and I am so proud of myself for staying dedicated and committed. And even when the days that the Monday did not work, I still came back and gave y'all the knowledge and the technology about this extraordinary process that women go through every single month after month, year after year, 450 to 500 times, or maybe more or less, give or take. You have children in between there, but we get to do this over and over and over again. That's why our motto is some cycles are meant to be repeated. And what our goal is with this is to really tap into understanding that what we repeated over and over again, has it worked for us? Did it give us clarity? Did it make you some money? Did it really help you tap into your calling, which should be first in priority, right? And so as we're going through this on today, I just want to be able to bring all of that energy into this. And while we're getting there, I want to be able to do our grounding breath as we always do. And so let us breathe together as we arrive at this moment, okay? All right. We're going to do 4 inhale, 2 hold, and 6 exhale, okay? And every time that we inhale, we're going to inhale and we're going to breathe in the day. We're going to inhale and we're going to hold that, and we're going to exhale everything that's been sitting on our chest. Okay, are y'all ready? As you breathe, also, I want you to whisper to yourself, I am ready to release. I am ready to receive, because that's what this is all about. All right. Inhale for 4. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. We're going to inhale for 4 again. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Let's breathe in that one last breath. Inhaling 4, holding 2, exhaling 6. I really hope that y'all know how much I love doing what I do, and that this work is really about how well, how well we are able to really get into this moment and feel through all of this, right? And I'm excited about it because I know that this year is has been trying for a lot of folks. And I'm really excited because I know that in the end all of all, and thank you, love, these boosts is everything, right? I had to check my comments, but I want y'all to know that, like, we are walking towards something here. And as we're walking towards something, that means that if you suffered well, if you knew how to take it and really have gratitude for all of it, do you know how much is going to be returned to you? How much clarity is going to come back? How much of your calling is going to be online? And how much, it ain't even about physical cash, because it's really about the wealth of who you are. And when you start to understand that, and you start to track your cycle and understand what that represents, right? When you start to track your cycle and understand that that's really your power, your promise, and your prosperity, like that to me is like, if when we know that, that's our wealth, because we know how to stage our life and track and plan our life for the fullness thereof, right? So when we're talking and talking about this walk, and the last full moon of 2025 is going to be December 4th, and the full moon is always about harvest and highlighting energy, right? You know, when you read something and you get the highlighter out because it feels like, oh man, I need to keep this. This is bold. It needs to stick out to me. The full moon energy, it lights up. It lights up what we need to see, right? It lights up what we need to see. It lights up the information that we're supposed to have so that we can be able to move through with clarity. That's simplest way to say it. You know, the full moon illuminated energy doesn't just highlight or create truth, right? It exposes it, because the truth is always going to be there. Like, there's this thing that I had a conversation with a girlfriend about not too long ago, and we really got into this conversation about truth, right? Especially spiritual truth. And a lot of times we get into these spaces, especially with religiosity, right? That everybody wants to talk about the truth, the truth, the truth. There are principles in truth, right? And one of those principles that women have is that we are going to bleed and not die from our cycles. Now, this is not medical advice or anything like that, because there are certain situations where I know that women are like, listen, I'm bleeding out, it's this, it's that. That's a medical infrastructure that I am not privy to have a conversation with about right now. But when I talk about the principles, the principles of the blood is like I said last week. It's blood, water, and spirit, right? And that's our law as women, to do this work so that we can procreate. And not necessarily, like I've always said, not necessarily about procreating children, but procreating for the wellness of our world, so that we can highlight and move through what creation really means, right? And so when we think about what the principles and the laws are, that's solid. That does not change. The truth does not change, but the interpretation of truth does. Because everybody's interpretation is going to be different. It's just like we talked about arousal. People might be like, oh my God, I can't believe she's talking about people have sex on their period. Because some people are still trapped in the identity that it is dirty. It's not dirt, it's cleanse. Like, we gotta switch the programming, because your body is cleansing itself. Is your baby dirty when you give birth to it? Some people think so, and they be like, oh, I gotta wash all this stuff off. Your baby come out clean. Your baby comes out clean. And we don't really understand what that represents, because the baby comes out baptized from the blood, from the water, and from the spirit. What we say when we go to Christ, well, we cleanse in the power of the blood, right? Okay. So then we get baptized in the water, so we can be of spirit. I'm just saying. So for all of us administrators in here, okay, all of us cycle keepers, this full moon energy is like God putting a spotlight on it for us, okay? Putting a spotlight on what's working, what truth is working, what truth is not, what is draining us, and what needs to be wrapped up before the end of the year. What do we need to wrap up and put that in the gift of Christmas past, okay? And let that go. Because what we need to be able to do is, and when I say Christmas, I mean like the Christ energy, what has passed over. Oh my God, okay, thank you for all these downloads. What has passed over that we can now move into the fluidness of what that protection has given us, because it didn't work. If it was draining you, it didn't work. Even though you may have suffered well, what was draining you didn't work. But what is working? And this is the perfect time to also ask, okay, what am I done carrying in 2026? What am I done with? Okay? There are habits that you want to be able to create. There are relationships that you want to be able to create. There are beliefs that are not coming with me in this next cycle. Okay? There are habits that I had to break this year. Okay, my phone keeps ringing. And there were relationships that I had to let go. There were belief systems that I had to let go, because I knew that what I needed to do and who I needed to be in this new year, it wasn't going to happen if I was still carrying old things. Okay? So you got to ask yourself these questions. What am I done carrying in 2026? What habits, what relationships, or what beliefs are not coming with me in this next cycle? Where do I want to grow in my relationship with my moon cycle, with my money, with my ministry? Okay? Where do you want to grow in what God has given you? Because that's the other thing we talked about last week. We talked about Thanksgiving and gratitude, right? What are you bringing to the table? What are you going to feast on in the new year? What are you going to feast on? What are you going to build that can generate your ministry? Because your ministry is also what can create money for you. And I'm not saying that in the marketplace way, right? Because Jesus went in there, he flipped the tables over, did all the things, because he was like, oh, these people ain't here doing the wrong things, right? We're talking about what is it that you know that you are spiritually aligning yourself with? What are you spiritually aligning yourself with so that you can close out these cycles and you can create this devotional way that you want to live? So you can close out the cycles with God that don't work for you. Because listen, in Ecclesiastes 3, it tells us that there is a time for everything. For everything. There's a time for us to plant. There's a time for us to harvest. And there's a time for us to keep. And there's a time for us to throw away. Okay? So when we think about there's a time for us to plant, y'all know that is the follicular phase, right? Okay? And then y'all know that there is also a time for us to harvest. Okay? That harvesting time is when we take that energy and we move that energy. Okay? We move that energy. Yes, take it and go upstairs, babe. We move that energy so that we can be able to decide if it's something that we need to keep. So we harvest, okay, in the, I would say, ovulatory phase. And then we keep it in the luteal phase. And when we keep it, it's like we're holding it to say, okay, well, what do we do with this energy? And if it doesn't really have a conceptual power to it, we're going to have to release it in menstruation. See, I know that this is the way that God has formulated my mind to coach and to teach and to share, because the end of the year is not about resolutions. Like everybody want to make a New Year's resolution. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it's about releasing. The resolution is like, I'm about to let go of this stuff that ain't working no more. I'm about to let go of what is no longer serving me. And it ain't like, you know, people talk about this all the time, like, oh, it ain't about what serves you. I gotta make sure I'm staying up to date on these questions or comments. Hold on, y'all. Okay. We always want to have a resolution so that we could prepare ourselves for what we want to do in the coming year. But I think that this year, a lot of people have lost people. People lost jobs. People lost opportunities. People lost resources. There was a lot of loss. And I think that this year was about us resolving or coming to a solution of understanding what it means to suffer well. And I believe that Christ energy allows us to understand what that really does mean and what it means to surrender and what it means to release. And we get to do this with our bodies over and over and over again until we can't. Because I know in some circumstances you have to release your body in ways of medicine that does not create a bleed cycle for you anymore. But what it does create for you still is that cycles are God's way of making sure that we never stay stuck. So we don't have to stay stuck in old stagnant energy. We don't have to stay stuck in what's no longer working for us, because God is always going to give us a way out. And sometimes the way out might need medical attention, because our bodies are misaligned with the way that it was designed, because circumstances come up that cause certain things. But when we know that our menstrual cycle, the moon cycle, the year in and of itself is all saying the same thing, is that you get another chance to do things differently. And I think that that's what this group has taught me, right? So as we move towards the last full moon of this year, Spirit gave me this a while back, is that we need to repent where we've abandoned our bodies. And nobody talks about that, right? We don't even talk about menstrual cycles or none of that in the church, And women are the only ones that are blood bearers in the way that we bear the blood, So I think that we need to understand that there's a certain level that God wanted us to be able to reverence this, and we didn't. And a lot of times we still don't. We don't reverence it with rest. We don't reverence it with spirit. We don't reverence it with a recommitment, right? So this is our time too to recommit to honoring our cycles and saying, you know what, this past year I did it, but this new year I am. And it's time to receive the new instructions, right? Because there's something called innate instructions. And I learned this through when I was studying for my postpartum certification, right? There's this thing called original instructions, and they're innate to us. And these are instructions that only we get as ministrating bodies, right? Can't nobody take it from you. Can't nobody say, oh, well, y'all don't own menstrual cycles. Y'all don't, like, yes, we do. Because these instructions are only given to our bodies. Okay? And a lot of times we abandon our bodies because we don't really understand what the instructions are. Have you ever seen somebody trying to put something together and the instructions is right there, but they just like, oh, I know what to do. And then they put it together and it's all backwards and twisted up, and then they got to take it back or loose because this screw don't fit, or it's too long, or the bolt don't work. Like, there's certain instructions, and we can't get those instructions unless we honor it. Unless we honor what it is, right? So my goal is to be able to help individuals to feel through that space. So right now I want to give y'all a quick journal prompt. And I want you to grab your journal or your notebook. If you got a notes app or something, pick that up, because I got 3 prompts that I'm going to give y'all today. And I'm going to put them in the comment section. Because I know that this work, that your body got this year was really something. And I want you to take advantage of what this work is. Because in order for us to really sustain, we got to get this work in. And something that has really been on my heart is that I've been seeing all this stuff happening to these women, especially in our community, around, you know, the hardships that they've been having in the hospitals. And I can't help but to think about it because I'm a home birth mama. I didn't have those experiences, right? I didn't get to that point in my life having children where I had felt like I had to tolerate certain systems. And so my hope is that even those individuals who might not have children or who might want to continue having children, that like we get into this routine, right? Because what we take in our lives, we also transfer those over to our children's lives. And I want those of us who have children, especially those of us who have daughters, is that we are done tolerating certain things. Done tolerating, okay? In 2026, I'm talking about stress, overworking. Let me put that in here. Skipping rest, etc. Okay? We're not doing that. And where do we want this information and this energy to come from? Right? Where do you want it? Where do you want your cycle wisdom to start? You know? Where do you want this energy? And I'm talking about physical energy now. I'm talking about currency. If there's a way for you to generate resources, right, that don't stress you out, that don't have you out here overworking, that allows you to create rest for yourself, right? Where do you want this wisdom to start paying you in 2026? Do you want to teach about it? Do you want to host events, jewelry, referrals? How do you want to be able to show up this year? What is it? Talk to me. Tell me. Put this in your journal, right? And if you don't have your pretty period journal, okay, I need to go ahead and put that in here too. Shh. What do you need? Because you know I'm on this call. Let's see if that's going to post right. I think it needs to say Stan.store. But we're going to see if I need to edit it and make it right. I'll do that. But I need for y'all to like understand that this is a big part of the work. A big part of the work is really being able to create space, right? It's for you to be able to create space. Hey, Swayla. I see y'all in here. I'm super excited about y'all being here today. I don't know what's going on with my comments. Okay. Okay. So while y'all work through those journals, I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about what we're doing and why this year moving forward we're going to transition into our ambassador program. All right? Because we're going to talk about turning this wisdom into wealth and impact. And I've been saying this all year, y'all. All year. Been getting y'all prepared that Your womb is not just biological. It's a business strategy too. And I said too, okay? Because it is biological, but it does have a certain level of business etiquette that's attached to it. And in 2026, I do not want you to be giving away your anointing for free. Okay? Now I'm telling y'all, for sure, not for free. So I'm beyond excited to talk to you about the official launching of our Pretty Period Ambassador Program. Because I understand and I know that's when I say that, I mean, like, don't be casting your pearls among the swine. There are people who will take information from you and take, and it never fully transforms them, right? And a lot of the information that you're giving away could be a good business strategy. Because if you're willing to give it away at no cost, right? At the impact of what you want to give it to people so that you can see the transformation, you can see the benefit of it, then that to me means that you doing the work that you love to do, and it doesn't matter if you get paid for it or not, because the wealth comes back in other ways. But I also understand that as above, so is below, and there are things that we want to be able to do in a heavenly realm that we need to be able to articulate it also in the physical realm, in the earthly realm. And that is what I feel like we get to do as women, is that we get to generate wealth and we get to generate impact at the same time. And I'm not saying other people can't do that, but that's a real big component that I feel like happens in circular models of care in the way that women are able to show up. And so I'm going to hype y'all up, okay? We going to say, hype me up. Okay. All right. So the ambassador program. This program is for women who feel that tug about what we talk about when we talk about teaching others, you know, how to track their moon cycles, sharing pretty period jewelry and products, hosting small circles, events, or parties, and getting paid while doing menstrual healing work. This is for you. This is for those individuals who are like, oh man, I really would love to be able to do this, but I really don't know how, or I don't really know what to do. As an ambassador, you will. And guess what? I'm going to teach you. I spent a whole year giving you insight and information, giving you the downloads that come from what I've been able to receive. And I know that there's going to be so much more. And so you're going to get education and training on moon cycle awareness and how to talk about it confidently. Okay? You're going to get special pricing and commissions on pretty period jewelry and products. And you're going to be the first in line for events, collaborations, and speaking opportunities as we grow. Because I can't be everywhere all the time. And my goal is to be able to take what I've done over the last 15 years as a birth work trainer, as a facilitator, an educator, a mentor, a coach, you know, and I want this to be a core part of our sisterhood, where we're helping to build the first Black woman-owned menstrual cycle boutique movement. Okay? And when we talk about boutique, I mean, boutique is like a small, intimate kind of experience. But this isn't just about selling stuff for us, right? This is about partnering. And this is about partnering with us to change the culture, around periods, and to get paid for your influence. Because we understand that when, like, I could tell and sell and talk about this all day long because this is what I do. But to have other individuals to align and to have allegiance to this work, right? We'd be like, I pledge allegiance to this flag. Okay, well, that just came across real funny to me because I was thinking, I pledge allegiance to this pad, okay? So listen, y'all, my mind be working. So I want you to look at that, right? As a way for you to create a powerful launch of influence. because we're getting ready to go there. And we have to go there because the world as we've known it has changed. We're talking about it is changing. No, boo-boo. It has changed. It has changed. Technology has done so much, right? Technology has done so much and created such a paradigm shift that we don't even know half the time what's the truth no more. A lot of it is holographic information. Like it's made up, right? The people that you see influencing you online ain't real no more. It's a whole AI generation of influencers. These ain't real people. This is the system. It's a behemoth, okay? And it's sucking the life out of reality. And we want to be able to create a culture that shifts the reality back to what is real. And what's real is that period poverty is not just an issue because people don't have access to pads and utensils. Period poverty is also the fact that when they miss school and they miss work, that creates and generates poverty because of time lost on education and time lost on wages. Okay, period poverty is not just about the poverty in itself, but it's also environmental. Okay, how many women have fibroids, cysts, all kind of other feminine disorders that impact them because of the products that they're using? Okay, which also creates a certain level of poverty because when that woman has to be off from work because now she got to have a procedure to remove her body parts. She didn't know that it was linked to her ingesting chemicals in her body over years and years and years and years of being brand conscious, right? Not only that, but we filling up our landfills, right, with waste. It's going out into our ocean waterways. We're not conscious of this type of influence. But to become a pretty period influencer, you will be. And so I'm going to give y'all some important dates. If you're interested in this work in this way, I'm so excited for you because the dates, I want y'all to write this down. I'm going to put it in our group, but I want y'all to write this down. The ambassador applications are going to go live on 12/12/25. Okay? 12/12/25. And that's your portal date. On 12/12, you can officially apply to become a pretty period ambassador. The onboarding starts 12/21. That's when we start getting you set up, trained, and ready to do your walk January 2026. Okay? So you'll already be in position to start making money come the new year. And I want you to remember, okay, that we only have 4 more Moon Cycle Monday sessions left in this year, including, not including today, but we have 4 more weeks after today. So we're using these last 4 gatherings to prepare you to completely shift into what 2026 is designed for you to do. And in 2026, what it's designed for you to do, okay? It's designed for you to navigate your moon cycle, your money, and your ministry, okay? And we're going to tap into all of that energy so that we can really tackle what I said in the very beginning, right? 2025, we had so much piled up on us. It was like, God was like, you strong. So thank you, God, for giving us all the strength, okay? God made you strong so that you can walk into 2026 and you can be happy. And you can be happy because you prepared. You gathered all the intel, all the data. You didn't get the rest you needed, but now you know how important that rest is. You didn't create the relationships that you needed, but you knew how isolated and lonely it was to not have those relationships that you now can produce as you're moving through, because like I said, this is about a sisterhood. It's about a movement, and it's about us having the revelation, right, to do this work on a bigger scale. And so I want y'all to invite your people to the group, because I want y'all to invite people to the group, because in these last sessions, if they blessed you this year, if you've learned more about your body and felt less shame about your period, or you just felt seen and heard, then I want you to invite at least 2 other women to this group before the end of the year. Your cousins, your co-workers, your homegirls, your daughter, your friends' mamas, like your girlfriends' mamas, all your daughters, your friends who got daughters, invite them to the group, because whoever God puts on your heart, they're supposed to be here. And I want you to tell them that they can come and sit with us on these Moon Cycle Mondays, and that we're learning how to honor our cycles and build within the wealth and the wisdom that's already innate in our bodies. Okay? I want y'all to do that for me. If y'all feel like this is something that has given y'all some information and some insight, right, that's applicable, that you can use in your everyday life, because I'm gonna tell y'all, information is out here all day, every day, but if you're not gonna apply it, like, then it's just empty knowledge. And that's what I mean about casting pearls among the swine. We're not doing that in 2026. It's over for that. So my goal is to be able to create an environment, an ecosystem that teaches us how to create space in our communities to draw in, to call in individuals who are interested in really being able to close the gap, right? This is $1 trillion industry, y'all. Not billion, but trillion. And I'm going to break all of those things down when we get into our onboarding, so you can understand that it's plentiful. The wealth is abundant. And it's not just the wealth of like, man, tomorrow I'm going to get it. No, it's the wealth that you got today. It's the wealth that you got today. You got all kind of friends, co-workers, homegirls, cousins, people who you know that got daughters, and you got to be able to talk to people. I'm going to tell y'all one thing about the beauty industry that helped me so much, and I love the fact that I was able to tap into that in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, is that you got to learn how to talk to people. You got to learn to talk to people with confidence, and for people to understand and know what it is that you're doing. When I would go and be in the stores or in the malls, I would walk up to people, and I don't care if I thought their hair looked the best. I'm still going to say, who does your hair? Okay, well, I'm a stylist, and here's my card. If you ever need an additional, set of hands, then contact me. Now, some people will be like, oh, well, that's bad. That's bad business. You stealing other people's clients. Like, no. If she ever needed me and she could not do what she needed to do on a regular basis, guess who became her support? And sometimes I would even meet the stylist, and I would become the stylist. Y'all don't understand how it works. You just got to be able to communicate and talk to people. And I was so excited about the fact that I never shied away from my ability to talk to people, no matter where I was, no matter what I was doing. And it's the same thing with periods. You should see me in the period aisle. Sometimes I just cruise to Walmart or to CVS, and I just go in the period aisle just to see if I see somebody in there, because I'm going to tell them, don't buy them always pads. Here's my card. Come down to my boutique. I got something special for you here. It's that easy, right? And so when you come here and you sit and you hear this information, you're going to get to build wealth and wisdom at the same time, because it's already in you. My goal as a coach, especially as a moon cycle awareness coach, is to help you to unlock that was already in you, so that this year you ain't gonna be walking around. Because yesterday I was at the grocery store at our homeland here in Oklahoma City, and they had a table that, like, you can just pay what you can to get specific groceries, because of all the stuff that was going on with SNAP and EBT and all that. And I thought that was so beautiful. But I'm gonna tell y'all the honest to God truth. I'm tired of all of that shit. Because when the government tell you that you can't have it, you can't have it. But we have to figure out ways to have what we need and to create space for what we need, especially as women, because a lot of us too are dependent upon our spouses. And if something was to ever happen to them, if we have not created a nest egg or a savings or whatnot, we ass out. And we don't want to be able to we don't want to have to deal with that. So the construct of this is multiple layers, okay? It's non-exhaustive because there's so many ways that we can be able to impact people. And this is the way that God has given me this year to focus in. The strength that was put on me, the heaviness and the weight that was put on me this year, I know it's because God said, you know what? I'm going to show you something, girl. And so in that, what we're also going to do is we're going to write the vision and we're going to make it plain. Now we're going to talk about what we're going to do in the new year. And we're going to do this work because we cannot talk and walk into this new year without a full-fledged vision. So mark your calendars for January 11, 2026. Okay? 111. 1111. Okay? Because we are going to do this work in such a powerful way. The New Year Vision Board Party is something that we do annually, and we've done in this group for the past 2 years. It's going to be our 3rd year doing it. So we want to make sure that we are allowing that space, and it's going to be virtual. It's virtual. So if you want to come and do a local group, let me know, because I might do it local, but we've done it virtually for the last 2 years, and it's a really fun experience. So like I said, mark your calendars for January 11, 2026, because we're going to map out our cycle care for 2026. We're going to map out our money goals for 2026, and we're going to map out our ministry and our impact goals, because I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Like this, if you ain't got no money, sometimes the ministry is just words. You got to be able to have impact too. Okay? If Jesus, he said, I had a loaf of bread and fish. Okay? You got to have things in order to be able to feed and impact people. But it don't have to be a lot. It can be a little, and the way you're able to monopolize just a little can go a long way. So we're also going to map out how our moon cycles will guide our calendar and business moves for 2026. It's not just a cute cut boards and aligning with your year. No, we are aligning our year with our womb. And for those of you who have been with me, who've been tracking, if you've been tracking and you've been putting it in your journal, and you've been using your period tracker journal, you know for sure where you've been in alignment and where you've been out of alignment. Y'all know I get hyped up. So we're going to do our closing meditation and affirmation, y'all. And I'm going to give y'all some final words, and we're going to wrap up. I don't think I've gone to 444 in a long time, because I'm usually running in and out, going to games and picking up kids and doing all kind of stuff. But I'm excited that God gave me time today. And actually today is my first day of ovulation. And so I'm super excited that I get to walk into this, my first day of follicular phase. I'm on day 8. And before we close, I want to do this closing meditation. And I want you to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your womb. So right hand on your heart, left hand on your womb. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And out. And I want you to repeat after me. I am closing this year in fullness, not in fear. I release what 2025 needed to teach me. I welcome new opportunities in 2026. My cycle is my compass. My wisdom is worthy of wealth. I am ready to be a vessel, a voice, and a pretty period ambassador. Deep breath in. And blow that out. And I'm going to put this in our chat too. Hey, Mikhail. So I'm going to let y'all have this so y'all can say this and repeat, because I know that it's real. You know, when we talk about closing out this year, a lot of times it can be scary to change and to shift and to do something different than what you're used to doing. And because you're not used to doing things in a certain way, you'll make excuses, right? That's why I don't believe in resolutions, because the resolutions are really just like ways for you to try to think about like ways to tie yourself in to things you didn't do last year. Well, you didn't do them because you didn't need them. But when you move in the understanding that like, okay, I can release that year and let that year go because I learned something from that. I learned something by not doing certain things. And what you really learned is that you didn't need them. You still alive and you didn't do it. But this year, what you want to do in the new year is that you want to welcome the opportunity to shift. You want to welcome the opportunity to live 2026 to the fullest, to your most authentic self, to your most aligned self, and that you know that you can use your cycle as your compass. And that you know that your wisdom is worthy to generate revenue for yourself. And a lot of times we don't get the revenue because we can't rest enough to get the downloads and the information to really make us move in the way that we are supposed to be moving. So if you're ready to be a vessel, if you're ready to use your voice, right? Me. Say that, okay? And you're ready to navigate your life as a Pretty Period ambassador, then this is your year. This is your year. You know, this is your year to do all the things. This is your year to line up, period. Okay? Let me put that on in here, because I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm really not. I really want y'all to know that like I'm so excited. Okay? Like a pointer sister. I'm so excited. I can't hide it, y'all. I can't hide it, because as we head into this last full moon of the year, December 4th, I want you to remember you are allowed to outgrow who you were in January 2025. What does not grow dies, period. Hashtag period. Okay? I got plants, and my plants, I recognize that they ain't have enough dirt. I'm like, man, where's all the dirt going to? The roots are starting to come up, and I'm like, why are my plants dying? What's going on with my plants? I had to put them down deeper in the dirt, right? Because they were outgrowing their environment, and I didn't go get pots to replant them big enough, right? So I lost a few of my plants this year, and that was devastating for me. So I want you to know that you don't want to be devastated because you don't want to grow, or because you're trying to stay in a small pot when you're supposed to be in this big new environment. No new friends, no new money. Okay? I'm telling y'all, people want to stay stuck to people because they familiar or because they family. And they might be the very thing that's causing your famine, because you outgrew it. There's no nutrients in that soil no more. You need new soil. And I'm trying to help you to navigate and get into new soil. You are allowed to rest and reset your life. You are allowed to. I ain't really got to tell you that. You need to be telling yourself. You need to be echoing this in your own mind that you are allowed to rest. Can't nobody tell you that you can't rest. I promised the other day I started thinking about, I was like, maybe I need to be going to Congress or going to, to the Capitol and having conversations about, we got this postpartum recovery on lock now for a lot of families to be able to get access to that. But we need to have something in place so that women, when they have their cycles, if you work, you can work remote. So you can take less stress off your body. And I guarantee you, when you go back to work after your cycle has slowed down some, right? You're going to be more productive. And you are allowed to let your period be your prayer time, not just your problem. I'm tired. No, I'm not. I'm not tired. I'm saying this because I'm just being. Your bleed cycle is your most intuitive time. When you sit and you set your time and you pray and you put your prayers to work, I'm gonna tell y'all, they follow up. Don't let your period just be a time when you like, oh my God, I'm on my cycle, I can't stand this, I hate this, blah, blah, blah. You're going to just draw more problems into your life. I'm telling you the truth. I know it for sure. I've done it. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've been doing this for many years. I'm going to be 47 in 2026. Okay? So when I tell y'all all of these things, I'm not telling you because I have not lived enough life. And there are people in this group too who are probably, a lot older, or not a lot, but older than me, but maybe a lot. But what I want y'all to understand and to know is that we have the ability to shift the narrative, to shift the consciousness. We want to shift the narrative around maternal and child health, but we got to start with preconception. We got to start with our periods, period. Because if it was not for a period, we wouldn't have a baby. So we need to be able to understand the basics first, and we need to teach this to our youth first. And if we don't use our voice in this way, you talking about listen to black women, we can't listen to ourselves in this stage. Ain't nobody gonna listen to us in that stage. And we get our practice during this phase. And when we start younger, we have more power, we have more momentum, we have more grit to be the vessel that God intended us to be. So I want y'all to watch the group this week for more details on the ambassador application that's dropping on 12/12 and the onboarding that's starting on 12/21. Okay? So I want you to drop a moon symbol, one of them little moon symbols, in the chat if you're feeling called to be an ambassador in 2026. And drop a calendar emoji if you're planning to be on the vision board, be at the vision board party on January the 11th. I'm going to put all these dates in our calendar, in our events calendar for you guys. But I love y'all, and I hope that this information flows with y'all. Because I thank y'all for flowing with me this year. Because it's not been an easy year. It's been a very strong and powerful year. And y'all know, like it say, pressure bust pipes. And you gotta, it takes extreme heat to create a diamond. I'm telling y'all, it has not been an easy year. But I'm gonna tell y'all this, some cycles are meant to be repeated. And the cycles that are meant to be repeated are the ones that you call for. And when you know that you are a vessel who is ready, when you know that your voice is amplified and has an anointing on it, because you know what your life has been, you can create something new. You can. And I'm welcoming that for you this year. I'm welcoming for you to release this year. I'm welcoming for you to renew yourself at this very end of this year so that you can walk into 2026 feeling bright and shining like a diamond. I ain't gonna have me crying all over this daggone live. But I'll see y'all next Monday. I'll see y'all, what is that, the 8th? I believe so. And I'm looking forward to it. 3:33. All right? Love, light, liberation. Peace. Hey, Pookie! I love y'all so much. I wish I want to play this daggone, let me see if it'll let me do it without cutting me off. It's 11 minutes left, or 11 seconds. I don't know what it is. Yeah, here it is. Why is it doing that? Maybe playing with me. Did I go over the time already? I did. Is it gonna let me play it? Raggedy. I can't find the song. It ain't gonna let me do it. That's cause it's daggone Facebook. Y'all know they police. Anyway, I'm gonna share the link to the song. And I love y'all. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Peace.